Time to wake up.
Text Ivan Demidov. Are you awake?
This is weird, creating a video early in the morning. I guess this is what normal YouTube content creators do. I'm all like awake and coherent. This doesn't feel right. Montreal Canadiens faced the Washington Capitals last night. Sorry, breakfast crew, I didn't get this video out sooner, but it was a disappointing loss. So I thought instead of putting out a video where I am just criticizing the effort for the majority of the team, why not put out a video with some meat on it? So without further ado, let's talk about it. Yeah, not the game that I thought we would get last night. I kind of thought it would be a back and forth game, but it was more like a game where Montreal was playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And it was a back-to-back game. It was a good effort considering everything that was involved. I was really negative on it last night because it felt like the second and third periods, they just kind of let Montembeault down. And that is kind of what happened. But revisiting the gameplay, they put in an honest effort. Things didn't go their way. This could have easily been like a 5-0 game for the Habs if everything went right. But the puck bounces the wrong way sometimes, and that's how she goes.
What? That's the way she goes. That's the way she goes? That's right. That's the way she goes. That's what I said.
Before we get into it, though, I want to thank you again for your support. We are almost at 21,000 subscribers. Can you help me get there? Just, is it less than 100 now? I think so. Those of you who already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Helps me out with probably search results, I think. So let's talk about La Formation de Départ. And there was a couple of changes last night, so this is a little bit interesting. Nos attaquants, our forwards. We got Caulfield, Suzuki, Texier, Slavkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Danault, Anderson, Blais, Veleno, and Gallagher. Yeah, Andy is back. That's good news. Owen Beck draws out, which, yeah, Owen Beck, man, you've been kind of invisible. The energy in your stride, it isn't there, but you're getting your taste at the NHL level. Maybe you're just getting your head wrapped around it. Lots of work to do, buddy. No défenseurs or defensemen: Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Carrier, Struble, Xhekaj. What the heck? Where's Goalie? Goalie's out tonight. It kind of makes sense. So he came back, played last game. It's back-to-back night. They don't want to push it. That's what I read anyway. I'm not sure if that's the official statement, but that's how I make it make sense for me. No Gardien, our goalies. We got Montembeault and Dobesh. Montembeault's turn at net. At the top of the broadcast, TSN reminds us of the situation with the goaltenders. Montembeault has been back for 3 games so far, and since then, he's been the best goaltender. But the conversation we know is much more nuanced than that. Personally, I'm starting to find this very frustrating. And so does Jakub Dobesh. I might get to that a little bit later in the video, but he made some statements pretty easy to read between the lines on what he said. So the first period, they drop the puck, and Washington starts things off with a penalty. So the Habs get to try out their new and improved Dobson power play. But not only is Hudson off the first power play, Texier is replacing Demidov. I mean, they're testing things out, and they're testing Texier out as well. That's kind of hard to say. Maybe this isn't a big shocker that this is happening, although I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed with the experiments. Also wondering what this does to the locker room. I'm sure that it's broached properly, but making all these changes, I don't know. There's something about it, and I'm starting to turn to the dark side where I wonder if all of the decisions made by the coaching staff are in the best interests of the team.
Did I stutter?
Oh man, Whiskey's losing confidence. It's not that. I by and large, I like the decisions made by the management staff. I just really, what's been bugging me lately is ice time and big brain decisions like moving Dobson up in the power play instead of calling a spade and saying, hey, maybe our power play needs to be more dynamic. Anyway, they don't capitalize on that power play. Some decent opportunities. I think Slav puts one off the post, but now Veleno is going to go to the box for the Montreal Canadiens. They're going to have to try to kill one. And boy, do they kill one and several others after this. Have a look at this.
Anderson shorthanded, cutting in, waiting shooting, score!
Welcome back, Andy. Immediately scores on the penalty kill here. Great shorthanded goal. He was in 2-on-1 and had confidence in his shot, took the shot, and he scores. What's his shooting percentage at now? 18.5%. He's back to normal. That's his best, if he continues that way, which he won't. That's his best shooting percentage of his career. He needs to continue along this path. Hopefully he breaks 20 goals this year. This was his 10th. The Canadiens kill off the remainder of that power play for the Capitals. Capitals do not look good on the power play tonight, but Montreal is kind of in the same boat. I think over the past 23, 24 attempts, they're 24-3 or something to that effect. Arber Xhekaj and Jaden Struble are getting their reps in, and both are looking pretty decent out there tonight. But fast forward to the end of the game, both would see the least amount of ice time in a very long time, playing under 10 minutes apiece. So we're headed to the second period. After the first period, 1-0 Montreal. Montreal looks like they are playing well for Sam, and Sam is making some key big saves for the team. Second period gets started. This is where Washington starts to get some more dangerous opportunities, but will they make an impact and score in the second period? We see Caulfield on an odd man break, but Thompson stops Caulfield and then Texier point blank. This should have been a goal, but Thompson plays it well and gets lucky here on Texier. Still in the second period, Thompson can't stay lucky forever.
Wall jab back in for Bolduc. Deneau there as well. Bolduc kicks it to Deneau. In front, Gallagher, wrist shot, score!
Brendan Gallagher, 2-0. Big goal here for a guy who needed it. Gallagher's been sweating lately, and I'm glad to see that he gets rewarded. Puts Montreal up by 2. Smart play. He jumps on the ice here and gets in the high slot behind the play, kind of undetected, and he solves Thompson. Great shot, good goal for Montreal here, and I'm glad for Galley. Now we see Struble get taken down in the neutral zone, and he stays down. Kind of an awkward fall here. Montreal is going to respond to this hit. Arber Xhekaj is going to take on McElrath. He chooses this fight. I'm torn. You want to demonstrate that you're going to protect your teammates, but Arber Xhekaj takes an instigator penalty here, and Struble ultimately is fine. Part of me says that fights enforcing, typically you should reserve that for when one of your star players is hurt or is humiliated, hurt, whatever you want to call it. And in fact, this might have been the point in the game where Xhekaj and Struble's shifts get shortened even more. So I don't even know if Martin St. Louis like this. It's tough. Struble did stay down on that. I think that's what ultimately made Xhekaj choose to take on this fight. But it wasn't an earth-shattering hit. It's something that Struble can take. So let me know what you think. Regardless, they go on the penalty kill and the Capitals continue to look miserable. But now Cole Caulfield is headed to the box and they kill that penalty easily. The Capital fans are now booing their team for being so unsuccessful on the power play, and that continues the entire game. How many power plays did they go on? 7. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's rotten. Now we see that Thompson is definitely activated and stopping plenty of shots. Montreal, they're definitely missing some calls. You're hoping that the referees start helping Montreal out a little bit. And right on cue, it seems the refs realize that they've missed 3 or 4 calls now. So they give Strome a weak slashing penalty in the offensive zone. And then on the power play with a little more than a minute left, Dowd gets Suzuki in the face. So it's going to be a 5-on-3. If they don't capitalize on this, they have another big problem with their power play. On the 2-man advantage, Caulfield takes a shot right for a tip. Slav gets his stick slashed out of his hands. I mean, the stick goes 10 feet in the air. Everybody in the entire arena saw it. But the refs don't call a penalty. This is pretty egregious. I guess that the thinking here is they're already on a 5-on-3. Are we really going to call another penalty? Yeah, I think you call another penalty. Otherwise, what does that set as an example? But it doesn't really matter because Montreal doesn't get anything done on that power play. You can argue maybe if Slav had his stick, he might have been able to tip that or get in and find a loose puck, but very discouraging, very disappointing that they weren't able to capitalize on a 5-on-3. That's going to do it for the second period. They head into the third period with a little bit of 5-on-4 time remaining. We come back from the break and Mudryk says that when Montreal is leading by 2 in the third period, they never lose, basically. And when the Capitals are trailing by 2, they never win. So, of course, that's the kiss of death. Ethen Frank makes it 2-1. The Canadiens are just too concentrated here in the defensive zone. They're all in the right side. Capitals work it to the left side, where Frank is all alone and finds his shot to beat Montembeault. Fast forward to nearly the end of the game. The Capitals are down by 1 and they pull Thompson. And then just seconds later, this happens.
The game as they push. Here's Sandin in. Tap, score!
Lazy defensive zone coverage here. They're waiting for the Capitals to make a mistake, essentially, instead of forcing them to make a mistake. And they take a shot. It gets deflected in the high slot. It gets past Montembeault because that's one heck of a deflection. It looks like they're going to overtime, but Slav makes a good last effort to avoid OT. No luck though. So 60 doesn't do it. Off to OT, where Suzuki takes a really bad tripping call off the faceoff. I hate to say it, but this is definitely a trip on McMichael. They caught Suzuki here being lazy, unprepared for this faceoff. He doesn't always take wing faceoffs. He usually does the faceoff himself, but Deneau is on to take the higher percentage draw. The Canadiens kill that penalty as well in overtime. Can they dig deep and pull out a win for Montembeault?
Puck pass back, wrist shot, Montembeault rebounds!
No, 3-2 Capitals. Habs battle back through that terrible power play in overtime, but Slavkovsky here allows McMichael just to get in front, wide open, lazy moment. Very disappointing failure here from the players to sell their goaltender down the creek. Montembeault played beautifully here. He really should have just had a 1-goal game here. So it's unfortunate, another 3-goal game, but the third goal coming in overtime. This was, a great game by Montembeault, and his save percentage actually was improved by this, I believe. He faced 42 shots, finished with a .929 save percentage. Great job by Montembeault. I think that they're getting closer to figuring out the goalie situation, and like I said in the video recapping the Detroit game, I think that the plan is to move someone back to Laval. That means Dobesh or Fowler. And as I alluded to, Dobesh made some comments to the media recently. Maybe just watch it.
I do not know. Like, I won, I don't even know, 2 weeks ago, and I didn't play.
January the 1st.
So I won again. I really don't know. Like, I don't have any answers because I don't know anything that is happening.
You don't talk to management at all?
No. I talked to Marty for the first time ever, and I cannot say what was said, but I do not understand. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I would tell you, but I don't understand any of this, and I just try to be there for my teammates, play for my amazing fans, and that's all I really have. Those two things, and I just try to win. That's been what I've been doing for my whole life, pretty much since juniors. I kind of learned how to win, and I just try to keep doing that, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. All I know is that I left everything on the table that I could, and that was my kind of mentality in the third period. It was like, if this is, I don't know what's going to happen, I will give it my all, and we won, and that's it.
So this game, post-game after the win against the Canucks, Dobesh had an okay showing that game. He came out with the win. So to his point, he gets wins. He has the most wins out of the current 3-goalie carousel. But when measuring Dobesh up to Jacob Fowler just recently, Dobesh is trending a little bit more towards 3 goals against average and a save percentage under 900. So we know space is tight. You can carry 3 men on the roster who aren't playing, who are in reserve. Josh Anderson obviously is back or looks to be back. Caden Goalie seems to be back as well. Jaden Struble has always been the 7th defenseman. Owen Beck will likely be shipped back to Laval. But with Jake Evans coming back, potentially Doc coming back soon, potentially Line coming back soon, and then maybe a little bit further in the distance, Alex Newhook returning, they need to make some decisions. And one of these goaltenders, it seems to me, is going to be sent back to Laval shortly or traded. Who knows? And it can happen very quickly. The Olympic break is coming up. There's a lot of teams that are incentivized to get a deal done before then. So could we see a trade? Either way, I think what's going to happen is Dobesh is the one that is going to move. Let me explain why I think that. A big component of it is his stats. Despite having more wins than Jacob Fowler and having a much better win percentage than Jacob Fowler performs better, more accurately, shows less panic under pressure, and has a calmness about him on and off the ice. His goaltender mechanics are very mechanical. He's got the pedigree and he loves to win. Now, he is younger, and I think ideally and in the perfect world, he would have had more time in the AHL to build confidence, to understand the speed and pace of professional hockey a little bit better. But then another part of me says, where's the best place to train? Up in the rare air, in the big game. With Dobesh, what he has going for him is he gets the wins. And in the past, he has looked very confident, but he's lost some of that, right? I still think that there's a path for Dobesh, and if Fowler falters, we could see Dobesh being called up and Fowler being sent down. They're interchangeable like that, and they're waiver exempt. So Canadians can do stuff like that. It's rough because I really like Dobesh, but we all knew that this time was going to come eventually where either Montembeault or Dobesh were going to make a move because Fowler is the future. I think what makes it harder is if Fowler would have gotten more wins in his starts, it would have made this a lot easier to swallow. But what can you say about that? Like when he plays, the team doesn't necessarily play for him. You got to score at least one goal for your goaltender to bring home a win, and that didn't happen in the last game that Fowler played. Anyway, let me know if that makes sense. I want to hear from you guys and want to hear what you guys think about the three goaltenders. Who should get sent down to Laval? Should they try to make a trade? Should somebody be involved in a trade? There's almost part of you that wants to see Dobesh traded because I think he does deserve some air in the NHL and time to prove himself. He's still young as well, and I think some of his immaturity shows, certainly when he is crying in front of the camera. That doesn't help demonstrate strong maturity. And maybe the criticisms and coaching that he gets in the NHL is blunt and direct enough that he will make those fixes and he will get better. So I'm really interested to see what they do. And like I said, it could happen sooner than later. That's going to do it for me though, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. I'm going to try to get another video out to you shortly. There was a hot topic that I launched on Twitter recently. I was thinking about putting it in this video, but I think it deserves almost its own video because it really took off and got spicy. The Islanders fans jumped in there as well. Of course, I am talking about the Calder race between Ivan Demidov and Matthew Schaefer. All right, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button, helps me out with search results or something like that. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would love to have you. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.